Om Shri Sai Ram, Upanishad Vahini by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Chapter 9, Chandogya Upanishad. This Upanishad is incorporated in the Samaveda. It has 8 sections, the first 5 dealing with various upasanas, worship or meditation, and the last 3 explaining the manner of acquisition of jnana or true knowledge. Chitta Shuddhi or clear and pure mind is the essential prerequisite for upasana. Chitta Ekagrata, one-pointedness of mind, is essential from Brahma Jnana, knowledge of Brahman. Chitta Shuddhi can be got by karma, and Chitta Ekagrata can be got by upasana. Through these means of karma and upasana, Brahma Jnana can be won. That is the reason why in the Shastras, karma is first described and upasana next and jnana the last. In the first chapter of Chandogya, the upasanas which form part of the Samaveda are detailed. In the second, the entire upasana of Sama is described. In the third, the upasana of Surya, known as Madhu Vidya, the Gayatri Upasana, and the Shandilya Vidya are all given. In the fourth, the Samvarga Vidya and the Sodosha Kala Brahma Vidya, or the teaching Brahma Vidya through 16 aspects of Purusha are taught. In the fifth, the 3 Vidyas, Prana, Pancha Agni and Vaishvanara, are elaborated. Uddalaka taught his son Shvetaketu that one knowledge which, if known, all things can be known, the knowledge of mud or gold, will give the knowledge of all pots and pans, as well as of all bracelets and necklaces. The mud and the gold are the truth, the causes. Their modifications and transformations are the effects which are temporary, mere name and forms. So too, the world, like the pot and the bracelet, is just an effect. So, there has to be a cause for it, and that cause is Sat. Sat means absolute existence and is common to all objects that are seen in the world. The pot is, the bracelet is. Existence becomes manifest through association with the pots and pans, the bracelets and necklaces. Even when not associated with those objects, existence still exists, which may not be apparent to gross intelligences, for it needs subtlety to realize it. For example, the rosy color which is manifested in the rose is, even in the absence of the flower, it becomes apparent only when it adheres to the rose. It is not apparent when such attachment is absent. Similarly, the Sat, the absolute existence, which is the universal characteristic of all objects, persists even in the absence of objects. Prior to creation, there was just this absolute existence. Some people assume that it was nothing but void before creation, but it is not true. There was this one and only undivided existence everywhere. When the absolute existence was reflected in Maya, power of Paramatma, or primal activity, which is characterized by Shuddha Sattva or the pure Sattva, that is Sattva without any trace of Rajas and Tamas, it resulted in Ishvara. Then Ishvara willed to manifest himself as this Jagat, universe, and appeared as fire, water and air. All creation is but the commingling of these 3 elements. The line of Uddalaka, Brahmana Bandhu, one with Brahmins as relatives. So out of concern, Uddalaka reprimanded him. Shvetaketu then spent 12 years at a Gurukulam, a residential school where students stay with the teacher, living as a community kulam, enjoying both the care and discipline of community life while systematically studying the Vedanta in the traditional way. There, by the exercise of his superior intelligence, Shvetaketu mastered before he turned 24 the 4 Vedas along with their connotations. He returned proud and pompous, swelled with egoism, declaring that there was none equal to him in scholarship and traditional observances. In order to prick his pride, Uddalaka asked him one day, "You have become haughty, that you have none equal in learning and the practice of traditions. Well, did you seek from your teacher the message that reveals the absolute, the lesson that only the practice of the Shastras can impart, the message which when heard makes you hear all things that are unheard, which when imagined makes you imagine all things that are unimagined? Did you learn that?" What it means is that despite being knowledgeable in all the Shastras, one will remain unaccomplished in life if one does not know one's own reality or Atma Tattvam. The Atma, which is the highest truth, is Sat or absolute existence, the base of jivas or individuals. Like Shvetaketu, that absolute existence, which is pure consciousness, becomes limited due to differences in upadhi or manifesting mediums and results in the appearances of a variety of individuals. In Sushupti or deep sleep state, the multiplicity disappears and each individual lapses back into this existence and experiences Ananda or bliss. In that deep visually, impaired is ever paired with bliss if he is aware of the Atma. The Brahmacharya is an important step for attaining Atmic wisdom. It is through the observance of Brahmacharya that the fruits of yajnas or sacrifices, kshatrayanas or the extended for long course of sacrifices, upavasas or discipline of fasting and other vows are attained. The solar energy surges through the countless nadis or the energy channels of the body. The senses merge in the mind at the moment of death. The jivi, through the medium of mind, then reaches and stabilizes into the Hridaya Akasha or the heart space. Through the nadis, the jivi, who is a jnani, in this context the jnani refers to Saguna Brahmana or the Upasaka or the yogi or bhakta. On the point of death, through the path of the Sushumna Nadi or the main energy channel, escapes into the solar rays and from hence to the Surya Lokam or the region of sun itself. The journey does not end there. It travels from Surya Lokam and reaches the Brahma Lokam or the region of Brahman. But the jivi who is caught in ajnana escapes through the ear or eye or other senses and falls into lokas which are not permanent, depending on the consequences of karma. Even the feeling of contentment and joy which one gets in sushupti or deep sleep state, when all sensory attractions are suspended, is not permanent and is the result of a jnana persisting in the individual. The chitta or the subconscious mind is the source and support of all sankalpas or resolutions. All resolutions, decisions and plans are the products of the chitta. They are of its form. They originate and thrive there. People say that since all the sankalpas have chitta as its basis, when death overtakes a scholar of all the shastras, he becomes equal to an ordinary man. The one who worships gods in chitta with Brahman buddhi, the idea of Brahma, that is all is Brahman, will become a Shastvam, supple and gentle. Chitta is superior to Sankalpa. The manas or mind etc. are part of Sankalpas. In fact, Sankalpas is the very nature and tendency of Manas. Chitta is the cause of Sankalpas, and Sankalpas cause Ichcha or desires or wishes. Sankalpa means discriminating between duty and not duty, do's and don'ts, and justifying with proper reasonings based on the given situations or subject matters. Once this selection is made, the word utters it, the name signifies it. The special sound forms or mantras that are uttered by name implies resolutions with justified duty to be performed as karma or rites. So, the rites become one with the mantras. There can be no rites without mantras. Next, about dhyana or meditation, which is even superior to chitta. Dhyana is the fixing of the mind or the divine through the help of images, idols, or shaligrams as laid down by the scriptures without allowing any distractions or agitations. It is also called Chitta Ekagrata, one-pointedness of the mind. The one who is well established in dhyana becomes pure and steady-minded. Earth, sky, celestial bodies, waters, hills, devatas, demigods, divine beings, all are unwavering. Likewise, man, who is the embodiment of divinity and endowed with virtues such as sama, dhamma, etc., can become unwavering or steady through dhyana. Vijnana or the pure knowledge of Shastras is better than dhyana or jnana based on scholarship steeped in the Shastras is referred to as Vijnana. It is attained by dhyana and hence it is more valuable than dhyana. Superior to Vijnana is Balam, strength or fortitude or vigor. By partaking of annam or food, the power or the ability that the mind acquires to cognize the objects of the world is called Balam. So, annam is superior to Balam. Deprived of food for 10 days, man dies. Even if he does not die, he will not have the power to listen and grasp the teachings of the Guru through Shravanam or Mananam. Tejas or fire is higher than annam. Tejas is fire. Tejas creates water and water produces food. So, Tejas is superior to water and food. Tejas can control the wind and make it warm. Then the whole atmosphere will become warm. So, Tejas first becomes air and then produces water. Tejas in the form of thunder causes rain. Akasha is superior to Tejas. It is through Akasha that sounds are transmitted and heard. Union with desired objects and mutual enjoyment is due to Akasha. Akasha is the root cause of the origin of beings. Smarana or memory is superior to Akasha. It is the quality or attribute of the Antakarana or the inner instrument, which is also called as Smriti, that helps to remember the past things. Everything is being enjoyed or experienced because of this Samarana. Without it, all experience is meaningless, all knowledge is waste, all effort is purposeless. Nothing can be experienced without the help of memory. Objects like the Akasha will be unrecognizable in its absence. Therefore, it can be said that Samarana causes Akasha, the Jivi, or the individual being who identifies himself with the physical form or body due to avidya or ignorance, after awakening reaches a blissful state and after leaving the body attains his Swarupa, one's true form or nature, which is unique from any physical existent objects. Such an individual is the Uttam Purusha or the noblest of man. After attaining his Swarupa by his mere Sankalpa, he can assume all forms. He laughs, plays, rejoices with kinsmen without any binding to his body. The body-bound man is caught in samsara, for the one who is free from that bondage Swarupa, one's reality, is the field of activity. This is explained in detail with examples. The wind, the clouds, the lightning, and the thunder have no permanent existence, which can be characterized by a specific form, with head, limbs, vital organs, etc. When the rainy season comes, they appear assuming the form of Akasha and get merged in it. This Upanishad, with 8 sections, which teaches about Omkara, various Upasanas, and Atma Jnanam, has come from Parameshwara to Hiranyagarbha, from Hiranyagarbha to Kashyapa Prajapati, and then to Manu and to other men. Hence, this has to be learned through the traditional method of knowledge transmission from one preceptor to disciple, and so on. Jai Sai Ram.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ